All right, yo, what's up? What's up? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? This Eugene Alexander and with my girl Brittany, you know what I mean? And go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, baby.
Hey y'all, I'm Brittany. How y'all doing today?
All right, y'all. She's the number one real estate agent in the game. She's crushing it out here. You need to buy, sell, or list a property. She's the team to beat. Cold, you know what I'm saying? We got properties we working on right now. I'm a real estate investor. I flip houses, I buy them. Reach out to me in regards to investing. If you got some money and you want to put it to work, reach out to me. I can show you the ropes in regards to investing. All right. Now we're going to talk about, do men lack leadership, or do women, are they not understanding how a man should lead? All right. Me and Brittany, we was over here talking about this yesterday, and it was a heated discussion. I mean, we was going back and forth about men and women and how it should be. And so tune in for this, man. This is going to be a great one. Yo, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now, the Modern Dating Podcast. Like this page, like the video, comment, let us know what you think. All right. Now, if you're a man and you feel like you don't want to be married or you don't want to be in a relationship, this ain't the motherfucking video for you. All right. And the same thing for the women. If you feel like you want to be single, independent, this ain't the motherfucking video for you too. Just take your ass on somewhere. All right. So we're gonna have a very healthy dialogue. Also, be on the lookout for that twerk summer jam or the twerk fall festival. Um, we are working on booking it. We're gonna have the twerk team, not the twerk team, but twerking going on, the bust it challenge, and then to make it clap. All right, so it's this. The basketball game is gonna be huge. It's gonna be epic. All right, so just wanted to promote that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the topic here in regards to the men and then also the women. So, how do you feel about the the man? Is the man lacking the leadership, or is it that the woman is lacking the understanding of how a man should lead?
I mean, it could be both.
Mm.
I do believe, just speaking from the woman's point of view, that, you know, a lot of us have grown up in a household without a man, or, the man really wasn't in our lives like we, would have wanted them to be. So I just really feel like, a lot of us don't have a comparison as to what a real man is, you know what I'm saying? And what is a real man, you know? I just feel like, we have to let the man be the man, like when we think of men, we think of, providers, protectors, we think of them as being macho, the feminine women. You know what I'm saying? There are masculine women too who do like a man to not lead so much so they can take the lead and they can do things how they want to do. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like after a while, eventually she's going to want that man to take the lead. You know what I'm saying? Like she's going to want that. So I don't really think it's so much as the man not knowing how to lead, because they have their own individual mind frame too. You know what I'm saying? Like not all men think the same. Some men are okay with some things, just like some women are okay with some things, and some women are not okay with some things. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's important as the woman, you know what I'm saying, that we allow the man and give the man space to be the man and feel like the man. You know what I'm saying? Because as women, we are able to have kids and all our emotions and everything that we go through that, I mean, really, I don't want the load. Like, I don't want the load. I'm glad you're here so I can say, Eugene, this is what I need help with. Can you help me? And I don't have to feel like I'm trying to fumble, trying to figure it out, because for one, I am a woman. I am a Black woman. I do got a smile and a big butt. So
She does have a big boom smile.
there we go, big butt smile. However the same is. But, I do feel like, it is a lot better to, just kind of let you lead and let you think about the things that it don't come so easy for me to think about because I'm not programmed to think about those things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
What I think about and the things that are important to me as a woman, as a man, it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So, I think to each his own, but I do feel like as women, we should be more acceptable to men and how they are, especially if we're choosing to be with that man. Like it doesn't seem fair that we have to be the one to always kind of like adjust or transform. But at the same time, if you think back and you look back on, your life and the things that you've been through as a woman, like even for instance, for me having children, you know what I'm saying? Like that was wild to me for one, but for two, I was able to adjust however I felt like I needed to adjust to benefit the growth of my kids or the best for my kids. And by me looking at it that way, it is easier for me to look at you as that way too, because, I want to be in a relationship. I want to be, with you. I want us to do this, you know what I'm saying? But I have to be able to kind of step back too and say, okay, Eugene is how he is. He grew up how he is. He experienced life the way that he experienced life,
Mm-hmm.
and, as well as for me too. But, I read this quote one time and I don't remember who said it and I don't remember exactly how it went, but it said something like, the life we see are the lenses as our experiences. Like the experiences that we've gone through are the lenses in which we see life. So our experiences are not the same. So everybody sees life a little differently. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I just think we just have to try to get a little bit more understanding of each other, especially if you want to be in a relationship with somebody. Why don't you want to understand them? And why wouldn't you want to do things that are for the good? If it's good, why not? Adjust, let them lead a little bit. If it's for the good, then it's for the good. But, and you can't expect it to always be good either, because I do feel like, things happen, you know what I'm saying? And, good and bad, but you have to make the determination or you have to make the choice to stick it out and do what you got to do.
So like leadership, and we're not speaking about like leading into a burning house. We're not talking about that. What is it? What's your definition of like, man leading? You know what I mean? What does that mean to you?
To me, that means like he's able to, for one, he not necessarily really understands himself fully because, you always grow each and every day and you learn different things. But, he just has to be comfortable with who he is, for one. For two, he has to know how to, stand on his own 2 feet. Like he has to know how to take up for himself. He has to know how to manage himself. He has to, the way that he just carries himself in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, you could just see it. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're looking for. His communication skills, how he handles certain situations, like if he's able to do that in his own life and with his own area, then he could be a leader, because if I'm getting with you, then eventually I'm going to end up moving how you move. I'm going to end up doing the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? So if you are not doing anything, or if you don't know what you want to do, or if everything I say always triggers you and now we arguing because you got some childhood trauma that you ain't went through.
So he should have like a high emotional intelligence.
Maybe so. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we call it EQ.
EQ. Okay. See with all that. But yeah, high emotional intelligence.
All right. So women not understanding on how to let a man lead. What do you see in regards to the modern dating scene, and what were some things that you had to do differently for yourself? So those are two questions. What did you have to do differently for yourself so you can understand what was, and what are you saying in the modern dating scene?
I mean, what I had to do for myself was like just really the experiences that I've been through in my life and the relationships that I've had, the different, outcomes and different things like that. Like, I'm a firm believer in awareness or self-reflection, or analyzing self first when things happen. Like, to me, that's important. That's how I'm able to maintain my state of nature, how I've been. And I mean, only you know that, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I've just had to wake up. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just, I just had to wake up, and I had to really like think about what works, like, over time, like even back to slavery time. Like, what worked for them? Communication. They were able to communicate with each other in secret and make it out through the underground railroads, through the little, homes. Like slavery, I feel like our people, we always look at slavery in the negative way, but we need to figure out the good stuff that happened, because we have made it to this point. So it's not just bad. What works? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I really had to look at. I had to look. I know it sounds.
So what works? What is it that works?
let
Letting the man lead.
Letting the man lead. The women, I'm a strong woman. You know what I'm saying? I have a very, I can be outspoken, but at the same time, I feel like I don't have to be like that with you, because I feel comfortable with myself to let you lead. That's what works for our community. I mean, and I can only really speak for our community and what I've seen. And you asked me another question: what have I seen in the modern day, in the modern dating scene? And the things that I've seen in the modern dating scene are some women getting with men that they're not really happy with that man. They're just kind of like being with him for, I mean, I'm not sure why, but it's like a mentality that we kind of have.
So they're getting with women that cannot leave. Why? Is it because the productive, competitive, successful man is not going to allow any type of dysfunction?
Maybe
so they go,
standard.
yeah, because when you come around here, I have standards, I have expectations, high expectations, and it's either this is what it is or not. So me, I see women, they'll opt out of, they think they could take on somebody like me, and then they realize my masculinity, my dominance, and my leadership, it's too much for them, and they gone. You know what I'm saying? And you see that they will deal with the Pookie and Ray Ray and them. You know what I'm saying? They will deal with them because it gives them some type of authority. So it's like when they come, my experience was like when they come talk to me about credit, I'm like, oh wow, really? Like a lot of the stuff what they say is so basic, is not really impressive to me. It's like but somebody like Pookie and Ray Ray and they might they sound like they teaching them something. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like when you with me, yes, I do expect you to carry yourself a certain type of way when we in public. I expect for you to, um, you know, be in a certain way. There's certain expectations that I do have, and if you can't meet that, then it is what it is. And then also I see it in the modern dating scene. They look at it like business owners, corporate execs, uh, your plumbers, your electricians, your HVAC, your roofers, your construction workers, your doctors and your lawyers. They sometimes they take those men and your real estate professionals. They take them as squares. And it's like we're not squares. We turn up, we drink, we have a good time, just like everybody else. But we know it's a time and a place for all that. Pookie and Ray Ray and them is they gonna live it up. They gonna ball. You know what I mean? I get it. I'm a reform Pookie, so I can speak from experience. You know what I'm saying? But how long does that last before you crash out? You know what I mean? You gonna run out of money, in and out of jail. You know what I'm saying? How long? But for that time being, that's fun to certain type of women. But you got to be responsible for those choices and those outcomes that you got from making those bad decisions too at the same time. See, you could have been over here, we could have been turned up just as the rest of them, you know what I'm saying? But there's a structure at the same time with me too. Like me, I'm not gonna be drinking till 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I got a team, I got a company, I got people that rely on me and I rely on them and I need to be in the right state of mind. So I can't really be doing the most and then turn around and being productive at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And so uh, I do business events, you know what I mean? And the men that come to my events are all walks of life, police officers, um, dentists, lawyers, all type of professionals, right? These are men that can lead. They're leading in their industry. If they're, real estate, if they're a police, if they a plumber, HVAC, I got all walks of life that I've been exposed to. But for some reason, Pookie and Ray Ray and them, they rather go that way because we're more dominant. And I feel like men have bossed up, they have leveled up. We figured it out, especially with technology. You know what I mean? There's no more, don't get me wrong, there's still barriers to entry in certain professions, but somebody like myself who's been arrested like 6 times, you know what I'm saying? And I spent 2 months in a psychiatric hospital too. But I was able to overcome that and because of technology. So a lot of men that took a little bit longer to learn or was just out there in the streets doing whatever, the technology has allowed us to overcome certain things. You know what I mean? So men have seen that. And even when I was like living on disability, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, ain't no woman gonna want to be with me like this. I'm gonna have to boss up. And a lot of people say do it for yourself, but sometimes other reasons can influence you to level up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I leveled up, you know what I mean? And so it's a lot of men out here that is leading. And I honestly think that women do understand how to let a man lead, but they choose not to. And then when they don't get the desired outcome and the results that they was looking for, then now they feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? Because once sometimes you go to that bottomless pit, you gonna have to dig yourself out that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like like once again, women do understand what the hell they doing. They rather be with Pookie and Ray Ray and them. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of women, or a lot of women that I know, want to be with men of substance. Like,
all right.
They do. And I feel like, maybe the barrier is just that, we need to just kind of sit back, and listen. We need to listen too. Like, I know you put a post on there, why women talk so much. Because I got four lips and you got two heads, and why men think so much. I mean, which is true, but at the same time, like all that stuff that you're thinking about, eventually you're gonna want to kind of get it out, and you're gonna kind of need somebody that's gonna sit down and listen to you, get it out, and just be okay with what you're saying and understand. Like, okay.
Yeah, and you know what? And I do agree with you because a lot of women was not raised with a man in the household, and so they might look at somebody who's a police officer or a real estate professional. They just not used to seeing that type of masculinity, and they don't know how to take it. But me personally, my eyes wasn't raised. I wasn't raised like that. Like I had an active father in the house. My older brother was a great example of how to be a man. And then my uncle and my auntie, they still married to this day. So I got to see that. So I mean, I really had great male role models in my life to show me how to treat a woman. And then I got a sister. I got 5 female cousins that, my uncle and my auntie raised. So I got to see that. So I can't see what you're saying. A lot of women haven't really seen uh, masculinity. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
at its finest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, where it be, whatever the situation might be, you know what I'm saying? But you grew up with a stepdad, or you grew up without somebody in the house, or that person came into the house when you was a little bit older, or you know what I'm saying? Like it was from maybe when you was a child, but like it just different situations. But at the end of the day, to me, it's all about relations. It's all about the relationship and the understanding of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So, if you didn't grow up with a father, or if you didn't grow up and you didn't have a good, relationship with that man, or however you want to look at it, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, that can be kind of like a blur too, because, because as I feel like as Black women as well, we're taught to be strong. Like we're taught to be strong, we're taught to be independent, we're taught to not depend on a man. We're taught to learn how to survive, on your own two feet. You know what I'm saying? Whereas back in the day, women had to depend on their men, especially Black women, because Black women back in the day couldn't do nothing. Like they couldn't be nurses like the white women. They couldn't, work in administration. They had to be at home and they had to depend on their man to do what they needed to do because they was at home with kids. You know what I'm saying? And I know this is the modern dating scene, but at the same time, we have to look at what works too. And I know maybe it built a lot of animosity back then from all the things, having outside kids or whatever the case might be. But as a even for me, I was taught to be strong. My mama, she's a very strong woman. Yes, she was with a man, all of my life, growing up there, my stepdad, but at the same time, she was very strong. And, she let him lead, but she really didn't give him full authority over her kids because we were her kids. You know what I'm saying? So some things it was kind of like, they my kids, I'll take care of it. I don't want you dealing with it. I'm gonna deal with it as the mom. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like, it was good in a way because I wouldn't be the woman that I was if it wasn't for my mom. But at the same time, how am I supposed to act and whenever you come around? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to be like that. I want you to be the lead, I want you to be, the head. I want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't want it, Like as a woman, I don't want to carry all the weight on my shoulders because I'm trying to sit up and look cute.
Right. Y'all watching this, like this. It's free to like it. All right. It's free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free to comment. You know what I'm saying? Do that for us. All right. The podcast is How Many Licks Does It Take? It means what the fuck it means. All right. So miss me with that. Now back to the conversation. So allowing a man to lead is very important to me. I don't like a woman to be in any type of masculinity in any type of form or shape. That's just me. All right. What I respect about you is that you're accommodating, you compromise, accountability. You hold yourself accountable too. And you do allow me to lead. You know what I mean? And so lacking the understanding of letting a man lead, I mean, you overcame that by what? Self reflection. What was it? You know what I'm saying? Because you move a little bit different in this modern dating scene. So for women that want to date, like you got kids, I know I said I want to date a woman that got kids. I changed my motherfucking mind. That's what the fuck I said. All right, now, what was the reflection for yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Let me think. I mean,
did you have to just cut everything off and go?
I mean, I did.
Just be by yourself for a minute.
Yes, I feel like I was in isolation for a long time.
Did you realize that? Was it your environment that was toxic? Was it your friends that was toxic? Was it your mindset that was toxic? I mean, what did you do differently to put yourself in the power position to be in a relationship?
I started asking questions. I started asking myself questions. Why this? And I started, because it really is not, I really can't blame like the people that are around me because you have to look back. You gotta look back because it could go back to a lot of things. The education system that we're in, the education that I grew up in, it wasn't just me, it was a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? Like what we're taught, how we're taught to be, you know what I'm saying? Not really seeing I feel like not really seeing African Americans out in in your face like that as well.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So really not having anybody to really like compare stuff to. We look at what Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Obamas, like we look at people like extreme.
Yeah, that's
Like
some
what
TV stuff.
the TV
Yeah,
stuff. What about the people that's walking the same street I'm walking? What about those people? How are those people living? You feel what I'm saying? Like I had to really think back and I had to narrow my perspective and just kind of look at the present day and really like what's going on too, and just not really compare and contrast, but just kind of just ask myself like, well, what do I want out of life? How do I want to live? You know what I'm saying? If life is really life and everybody goes through life, then what difference do it make as to what I do and how I do? You feel what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, remember the other day I was asking you like, it's just these slogans too that are everybody knows, like birds of a feather flock together. Or, be your best self, you only live once, seize the day, like all these different sayings that are universal, you know what I'm saying? It's like you get to thinking like, how does that happen?
Right.
But it's how we're programmed. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
what we see. It's what they want us to see. So I had to go against that.
So you going against the sisterhood right now.
Okay. I mean, if that's how you want to look at it, but no, I feel like I'm for the sisterhood because I feel like the sisterhood, we need to get that connection with our, counterparts so we can level up to the level that we need to be on. Like in so many words,
Right.
Now,
with the men lacking leadership, what I see for a lot of men, I just feel like they don't understand the business of marriage and the business of being in a long-term relationship. A lot of men uh, don't understand about protecting themselves when they're going into the business arrangement. And I believe fair should be fair. And they don't, I feel like the church was a major influence of saying, get married without a prenuptial agreement, be married without a postnuptial agreement. And then a lot of these men, if you don't have nothing in writing and then you go into a divorce, the judge is going to just say, well, we're going to split it the way we're going to want to split it. It's the same way like dying without a will. You're in real estate, you die without a will. How do we split these assets? You know what I mean? That means we got to make sure all of these parties are in agreement and to sell it. That could be trouble. So men, they want to be married. We do want to be married. We do want to be in long-term relationships, and we don't want to be married. And but when I study wealth and I study success, they're all in long-term relationships or they're married. That's the common denominator for majority of almost all of the Black African American billionaires. They're all married, long-term relationships. So, but you don't go into the situation with rose colored glasses on and just being dumb.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Am I gonna always make sure that you straight while we're together? Yes. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna make sure you're protected for you and your kids. I'm gonna make sure I'm protected for me and my family and my business too at the same time. And that's fair. That's only right. You know what I'm saying? And men don't if once they understand the business of being married, They understand the positive. Because even if it is a 10 to 20%, if you put yourself in that 10 to 20%, man, it could be a very positive, great thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, people have issues. People have issues. You know what I mean? But the desired outcome is 10 times greater than just, in my opinion, than just being out here just going. You know, like I'm pro nuclear family. I thought I was pro male, but I'm really not pro male like that. I'm definitely not pro woman, but I'm pro nuclear family. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you see that married couples, their poverty rate is in the lowest out of all poverty rates for single men, single women, single men with kids, single women with kids, all of that. When you're married, you're less likely to be in the poverty, period. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's good to understand what leadership looks like and to understand that as well, you know. So that's about it, guys. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it short here. We appreciate you tuning in. And that's about it. This team, Eugene and Brittany. We will do another one for the streets a little bit later. Check y'all out later. Peace. Bye.